All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down a concept we hear about literally all the time: inflation. But look, rather than just complaining about the price of groceries, we're going to bypass the textbook definitions and take a visual journey into the hidden mechanics of your money and the true cost of living, based on our source material.
So let's start with a reality check that I know we all feel every time we open our wallets. Think about it. 10 years ago, a crisp $20 bill could stock your fridge with groceries for the week. But today, that exact same 20 barely covers a casual lunch, sandwich, and a drink. And honestly, you're lucky if it even covers the tip.
You see, this shrinking buying power isn't just a streak of bad personal luck, right? It's a very specific structural economic reality. The physical $20 bill didn't change at all. It's issued by the same government. It looks completely identical. What actually changed is the underlying value that the piece of paper represents.
At its core, inflation is just a broad rising of prices across the board. You probably already know this, but the exact same bread, the exact same gas, and the exact same services just cost you more over time. Basically, your purchasing power shrinks, meaning your money literally buys you less.
Let's put this into perspective. Picture this. It's 2015. You stroll into your favorite local cafe, and a regular black coffee sets you back just $2. A simple, crisp transaction to start your morning. Fast forward to today. You order that exact same coffee at the exact same cafe, and it rings up at $3.50. Now, the beans aren't suddenly coated in gold, the cup isn't any bigger, it is the exact same beverage. The coffee itself didn't change one bit. It just takes more of your dollars to acquire the exact same asset.
Which brings us to the big question. Why exactly does this happen? Let's take a quick look at the three primary drivers behind these rising prices.
It basically boils down to three main triggers. Step one is when demand outpaces supply. When everyone wants an item that's scarce, prices naturally shoot up. Step two is an expanding money supply. When governments pump more money into the financial system, you suddenly have more cash chasing the exact same amount of goods. And step three, higher production costs. If the fuel or raw materials needed to make a product get more expensive, companies aren't going to eat that loss. They pass it directly down to you.
But here is the real kicker. The most insidious part of inflation is actually how it acts on stagnant capital. It doesn't just make your store purchases more expensive, it acts like this invisible force that quietly depletes the money sitting supposedly safely in your bank account.
Let's actually run the numbers on this. Say you keep $1,000 in a standard savings account yielding 1% a year. At the end of the year, great, you've made $10. But if the overall inflation rate is 4%, your money technically grew on paper, sure, but you actually lost buying power. The cost of living grew by 4%, while your cash only grew by a measly 1%.
And that brings us to the absolute golden rule of all this. Your money must grow faster than inflation. If it isn't outpacing the rising cost of living, it is slowly but surely losing its real-world value. It's kind of like trying to run up a downward-moving escalator. If you aren't moving faster than the stairs are pulling you back, you are losing ground.
Now, obviously, you can't control global inflation rates or supply chains or fiscal policy, right? But you absolutely can control your strategic response to it. By adopting three specific habits, you can basically build a fortress around your finances.
First off, definitely maintain an emergency fund, but don't over-allocate to cash. Having too much sitting idle means you're basically volunteering for that hidden inflation tax. Second, prioritize investing. Historically, vehicles like stocks and index funds have outpaced inflation over the long term. And third, relentlessly track your personal costs. Having that awareness lets you adjust your budget way before you're caught completely off guard by climbing bills. You know, these practical steps align perfectly with the core philosophy of our source material today from Finluxe. Their whole mission really revolves around this idea of simple finance, smart wealth. It's all about stripping away the complexities and focusing on really clear, actionable financial strategies.
Which leads us to the ultimate takeaway from this explainer. Understand it and plan around it. Inflation isn't really the enemy here. Ignorance is. Once you understand exactly how this mechanism works, you can proactively structure your assets to thrive in literally any economic environment.
So, I want to leave you with a question to chew on today. Go take a look at your own portfolio and your savings strategy right now. Is your money actually working hard enough to outpace the invisible force of inflation? Are you growing fast enough to beat tomorrow's prices? It might just be time to reevaluate your strategy and start making your money truly work for you.